Whoa! Back again? Then I suppose you've already crushed your C and G major chords and are looking for more. Nice. Today, we're going to look at 4 ways to play a G major chord. But before we get into the chords, just a quick note about what pitches are actually in a G major chord, or it's often just referred to as a G chord. This is a very similar chord to the G7 that you've learned previously, but G only has 3 pitches instead of 4, which are G, B, and D. The main difference between this chord and the G7 is that we will not be playing an F to make this chord. Easy enough? Cool. Let's look at our 4 G chords. Today we're going to start with the 3-note G chord. As you can see from the chord chart and notation, we are not going to be playing our lower 3 strings, which you probably expected, so E, A, and D will be just hanging out. However, we will be playing open G, open B, and 3rd fret with our 3rd finger on the E string. If we play them together, it will sound like this. Like in the last video, if you're up for a challenge, but not a very big challenge, then boy do I have a chord for you. It's the 4-note G chord. As you can see on this chord chart, everything is the same as our last chord, except we're going to add open D. So going note by note, we're not going to play our E or our A, the low strings, but we'll be playing open D, open G, open B, and finally having our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret on the E string. When you play this chord, it will sound like this. If you're looking to push yourself just a little bit further, then you may consider trying our 3rd G chord, which is a full 1st position open G chord. As you can see from this chord chart, we're going to be using 3 different fingers to play this chord, and it will go as follows from lowest string to highest. We'll start with 3rd fret played by your 2nd finger on the low E string, 2nd fret played by the 1st finger on the A string. Then we'll have a series of open strings. We'll have open D, open G, open B, and finally, like the other chords, our 3rd finger will be on the 3rd fret on your high E string. With all of your fingers in the proper place, your chord should sound like this. For our 4th chord, we're going to be doing the same open chord that we just played, but we're going to use a slightly different fingering. This fingering works very well if you need to change from a G to a G7 chord or vice versa. To play the chord with this fingering, we're going to alter a few things. Starting on your E string, we're going to use our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. Then we're going to use our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. We'll still have open D, open G, and open B, and you're going to use your 4th finger, also known as your pinky, on the 3rd fret on your high E string. This is very, very handy to go back and forth, as I mentioned before, between a G and a G7, and all you need to do is lift your pinky off and put your 1st finger down on the 1st fret to make a G7 chord. If you go back and forth between these 2 chords, it's going to sound like this. Whoa, what? Bonus chord! Woo! Yeah, there is another way to play an open G chord in 1st position, and this one is Mr. M's favorite. Although it is a little bit more difficult than the previous chords, it gives you a fuller and richer sound and will probably become your go-to G chord if you practice. As you can see, we're going to be using not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 fingers to play this chord. So buckle up and get ready. Here we go. Starting on your low E string, we're going to play the 3rd fret with your 2nd finger. 2nd fret is going to be played with your 1st finger on your A string. As previous, we're going to have open D and open G. We are going to play the 3rd fret with your 3rd finger on the B string, and finally the 3rd fret with your 4th finger on the high E. Here's what this amazing, glorious G chord sounds like. So nice. All right, so there you have it, folks. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 ways to play a G major chord. If you're just starting out with the guitar, let's keep it simple and stick with either the 3 or 4 note versions. But if you're looking to work it a little bit, Then try the other ones. These other ones will be challenging at first to get your fingers to flow back and forth, but if you keep at it, before you know it, you're gonna glide from chord to chord without a care in the world. I wish you the best of luck incorporating these chords into your playing, and until next time, happy practicing.